All right, it's still 4 o'clock, so I will say it is Tuesday, February 13th at 4 o'clock. I will call the City of Port Atkinson Plan Commission meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Highfield? Commissioner Kesnick? Here. Commissioner Gray? Commissioner Shull? Here. Council Representative Schultz?
Here.
Chairperson Manager Houseman?
Here.
Engineer Selly?
Here.
Okay, new business. Number 1 is review and possible action relating to the minutes of the December 12th, 2023 regular Plan Commission meeting.
I move to accept and file the minutes of the December 12th, 2023 regular Plan Commission meeting.
I'll second. Eric seconds. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. I do see Roz Highfield on the Zoom now, Clerk Ebert. Okay, item B is a concept plan, a planned unit development on South Main Street. Building Inspector Zoning Administrator Drager.
Good afternoon. Yes, so this is a presentation. There is no action on this tonight. It's just merely showing a potential project coming up. So this would be going forward in the future as a PUD, a planned unit development. There's 2 parts of that, a general development plan and then a specific implementation plan. Those would both come through here with their respective requirements. The owner, Jason Schultz, and Ryan Schultz, his brother, also the designer of this, is here, and I believe Ryan's going to give a small presentation on the project itself. Oh, my own mouse. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. As Jed said, I'm here with my brother, Jason Schultz. My name's Ryan Schultz. We grew up in Port Atkinson here down on Milwaukee Avenue there down by the Bark River. I'm a practicing architect. I have a small firm in Madison. Jason, he's in a concrete construction company, curb and gutter. His offices or headquarters are out by Horde and Bunker or Baker. Yeah, we're here to present a potential concept on some property that Jason had bought, I don't know, 6 months ago, up on South Main here. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this working. This full screen. Can you do full screen? Is that it?
This is on through Google.
On through Google, okay.
That's really good.
That's pretty good.
Best you can do.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, it started with a phone call. And Jason had bought this property and he had his crew working on demoing it. And he called me up one day and he says, Ryan, can you take a look at one beam? We got one beam in question here that I'm not sure what to do with. I'm like, I'm on the phone. Sure. Happy to check it out. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking one beam, it's going to be, you know, because I love them, it's going to be pro bono. I got there. It's not one beam. It was multiple beams. And if you're familiar with the property, it would be, we'd be really hard pressed to turn it around without extensive work. So at that point, I'd said, Jason, how about we do, how about we demo the property and do a concept called the pocket neighborhood, which essentially is a kind of a neighborhood within a neighborhood concept. And it's usually the precedent projects out there. It's kind of a new development. The precedent projects out there seem to have about, 8, 10, 12 little mini houses, kind of 1,500 square feet, centered around a communal courtyard or some communal use such as a greenhouse or kind of a common kitchen. Since this property was, around 1.3 acres, I think would be perfect size for it. The other common themes with the pocket neighborhood is that it's very pedestrian friendly. There's measures such as, sharing driveways and isolating parking in kind of one part of the lot in order to provide more kind of pedestrian friendly areas. The other theme is that these houses are small. They're pretty intimate. The proportions are very cozy, I would like to say. Another theme is mixed land uses, trying to put these developments close to other types of land uses like commercial and kind of leisure land uses, or if there's nothing adjacent, to bring in kind of different uses such as, that green area or kind of a common kitchen type of thing. The other theme is environmentally conscious. With this, as it applies to these types of projects, it's the large part is kind of efficient land use, making it a little more dense to utilize the land that we have, more kind of infill development versus green development. Another is a sense of place where the design comes from some unique cultural aspect of the surrounding area. And then finally, privacy and security and with these developments is done typically with small little fences and little gates, nothing that's kind of a gated community, but something that kind of gives cues that you're entering into kind of a more intimate and so I put together some precedents for these projects. The first one is this. Kind of encouraging social interaction. These images kind of show a lot of them show that kind of small center, and some of them show kind of or.
Is someone speaking right now? The audio got really quiet.
Bring it closer.
Thank you.
No, oh, sure. Walkability, that, consolidating the parking in kind of one area or having shared driveways allows for kind of a more pedestrian friendly environment, on majority of the site. Let's see here. Human scale, this is one of those things everyone kind of gets, but it's hard to describe. Is when you increase the density of something, it creates more intimacy at a certain point, but you could get too dense and you lose that intimacy. So with this project, we're trying to find that, perfect balance of like something that's a little more dense and more efficient on land use, that creates this intimacy, but it's not, it doesn't destroy it, I guess. Mixed land uses, historically having different land uses spread out, and you need a car in order to access that. The concept of bringing them all together and being able to walk from one to the other. And with these developments, again, you're using greenhouses or a common courtyard or a kitchen. Environmentally friendly, of course, with this, again, it's just the land use, efficient land use and, typical green materials. Sense of place, again, these kind of examples, using form and materials and kind of spatial adjacencies of things, they reflect the culture of the area. It's very unique, and you can see that you couldn't take one of these and apply it into another place. This privacy and security, again, here's some examples of using these low fences and kind of gates in order to create the perceived security and creating thresholds between public and private. This is, I won't go through that. That was in the packet. So getting in site specifically, here's the overview of the city and the county zoning. Shows you where the site is. It's again, I think it's a 1.3 acre site. It's right on the threshold of the two zoning districts. Here's some existing conditions, basically showing how there's quite a lot of unused land on here, underutilized land. The houses, as I mentioned, are the house, sorry, is pretty derelict and ready to be raised. So here's the proposed site plan. It's 8 houses and 1 common greenhouse that's centered around a communal courtyard. The houses are broken down into the main house is 1,500 square feet, 2 floors, and then a detached garage. And the way these are configured, they're configured kind of in a U shape, as you see there. And in that way, it provides kind of a more of a private little courtyard for each individual house. And then here, yes, the shared driveways, there's 3 shared driveways. They're purposely, intention is to have those be narrow driveways, so it slows traffic down, again, kind of creating more pedestrian friendly environment. This one here, this is a little different than typical pocket neighbors that you've seen out there, that a lot of times they just take all the parking and put it to one side. I was a little scared to do that culturally. I think people would have a hard time parking so far away. So this is kind of a balance where I did 3 separate parking driveways, and they're shared. So it's a little more distributed throughout the project. You see the circles there in the courtyard. Those are existing trees. We're trying to maintain those as much as possible. I think that would really improve the aesthetics of the site. What else? Here, each individual house is kind of nested in the other, meaning that if one side of the house has windows, the facing house does not. So that way you can utilize, one of the properties can utilize this space for something. It's not kind of just leftover no man's space as you typically see in suburban development, I guess. This gives you indication of lot sizes. I think the average lot is, I don't know, 4,600 maybe. These smaller ones here are smaller because those trees, we're trying to save those trees as much as possible. This is, it zooms in the floor plans, 3 bedrooms, 1 bedroom on the first floor, 2 on the second. And then this proposing a concept of these large concrete pavers that still kind of allow water to percolate into the ground. So it's not trying to be as much impervious as it could be. Elevations. The concept with this is it's a repeating floor plan for the most part. The variation comes from materiality. Not every single house is going to look like this. This one shows kind of batten board materials and corrugated metal. The other ones, we're going to look at clapboard, siding, and kind of various other kind of patterns, just to kind of give it more variety. And also the roof over this one, kind of the master bedroom, kind of turns 90 degrees on certain ones. So it's enough to give it a little more variety, so it's not just repetitive. Landscaping, proposing a native grass landscaping, something that's hopefully low maintenance, is kind of more in line with the natural habitat of the area. It also provides, with the taller grass, it provides kind of more of a privacy buffer between that more public courtyard and the more private houses. So this kind of gives you a sense of how the design was informed in this area. Kind of the whole sense of place is trying to play off our our agricultural history and the idea of that, you know, over time, all these barns kind of accrete and take on different shapes over time. So it's kind of trying to play off of that in some sense. There's just some overall rendering showing you the greenhouse or the shed or the kind of common area. And just, yeah, you can see some of the orientations of the roofs and varying the setbacks too, not having all the houses on just one line to kind of vary the setbacks to give it a little more visual intrigue as well. This I won't go into detail. I think it's in the packet, just kind of a comparison between again, the base zoning category and what we're proposing. The elements highlighted in gray are kind of the change. And then, yeah, I can quick go through these, just more precedent studies. Here, I think the next 4 projects are existing projects to scale, and I put them on the lot as they would fit at scale, just to give you kind of a sense. There's another one. I love this one. It's in China, and it's like probably 12 houses, and they're, I don't know, 1,600 square feet, 2 stories. But you can see all the intimate spaces and stuff. It's a pretty neat project, and it doesn't even fill up the whole site. And then, yeah, another one. This one has, I think, we can see right at outdoor kitchen area. This one really kind of pushes the envelope. It was a study done by another architect in France, where it's like they were trying to fit as many single house houses on the lot. And I think with the one on Main, we could probably fit, in this formulation, we could fit like 16. And so you can see kind of the renderings. It's kind of a neat concept. And then finally, just what we're proposing is the 8 houses, all to scale on the site there. And I think that's it. Thanks for listening.
Would you be condominiumizing the development, or would it be property ownership and then an HOA, or how would you?
It would be, I believe, a condo association. So all the individual owners would own their individual lot, but they'd have common ownership in kind of the common areas.
Okay.
And so there would be part of that part where I talked about how one house, if it had windows, one side had windows, the other did not. Those types of things will kind of be codified in the condo bylaws, I guess. So, yeah. So, yes.
Questions from the Plan Commission?
I think it's a really exciting concept, probably the most exciting single family development concept I've seen in Fort in my years here. So I applaud that. Would you consider for the facades that you want to maintain, privacy for yard space for the neighbors, doing maybe some not clear story windows or something that's just, up close to the ceiling, so it would provide some light and
Yep.
but still privacy?
No, that's, yeah, a good call. I don't know if you can see in any of these renderings, there is actually clear store windows on some of the sides. And so I got into details, but that's kind of part of well, maybe we frame the bylaws is that you can have windows on that side, but they got to be of a certain height or
Right.
whatever. Maybe you frost the windows or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah. But yes, I do like that idea to kind of bring in more light, but to strike that balance just between having some more light, but keep the privacy
Mhm.
factor. Yeah.
And this property is currently in the town. Is your intention to annex into the city?
Correct. Correct.
Do you have a plan for that, or is that kind of,
I think so. We had talked to Jed and Andy in a number of times and what we're trying to do, and it seems like there's a straightforward approach to get it annexed into the city. first time doing it, so you guys would know more, I guess.
I have a question. What about snow maintenance or groundskeeping? Would that be the owner's responsibility or kind of like a shared maintenance agreement or hired a management company to take care of that?
We haven't talked in particular, but I would lean, we'll see what the owner really would like to do, but I would lean towards having kind of a association that pays those types of dues to make sure that it's maintained to a consistent level.
So
I think that
monthly
would-
maintenance, a monthly maintenance charge.
Correct. That, yeah, again, that's part of, yes, the condo association
Mm-hmm.
dues kind of thing.
Thank you.
Good question, Roz. My question is, are this current or properties lots, are they currently connected to like cities infrastructure, sewer, water?
They are not. No, this parcel is in the town, but there is sewer and water in Main Street out in front of the parcel.
And I just want to say that I agree with Commissioner Kesnick that this is a super exciting concept, one that we haven't seen anywhere in Fort Atkinson. And I've seen this in some larger cities. And I think it's really neat. And I think that the zoning ordinance that was adopted by the city back in, I think, 2019 or 2020 really paved the way for additional density like this. And I think that was one of the reasons, we developed that planned unit development process, as well as made smaller single family lots to be able to accommodate additional density. And we all understand that I think the last statistic I read was that Jefferson County is going to be about 5,000 housing units short by 2028. So additional density is always helpful in achieving those types of those goals and meeting the market what the market needs. Do you have experience as far as like price points for something like this? What we could expect as a market?
Right. We're trying to make these pretty cost effective. Again, in the write-up, hopefully trying to cater to a demographic of, empty nesters or first-time homeowners. These, they don't have basements. The repetitive nature of it will help on construction costs and kind of the smallest square foot. So yes, hopefully trying to make them available to kind of a more of a unrepresented demographic, I guess. Yes.
Yeah,
So what that means, I guess, in terms of cost, we're still kind of dialing into that. Yes.
Yeah. Questions, comments from other Plan Commission members on this?
I think it's a great idea.
If they don't have basements, would they have frost walls or slab on grade or a combination?
You can actually, in the building code, you can do shallow foundations, but you need to use rigid insulation and extend it horizontally for whatever 4 feet or whatever it is.
Okay.
That allows or prevents that frost heave.
Mhm.
So you can do it code wise. Where they're not having a basement, we're hopefully making up for the lack of storage there in above the garage. The garage will have, all storage, and so there's hopefully accommodate that.
Loft space in the garage then, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
loft space. Either, might put a stair in there.
Mhm.
It might be one of those things where we start kind of sales and we're like, hey, we can put a stair in there if you want.
Yeah.
Those kind of accessory type of things.
Okay.
Ryan, I'm just curious on the choice of not doing a basement. Is that largely a cost decision, or is it the folks buying these things just really don't use them?
No, that's largely a cost thing. It's again trying to really make these approachable.
Yeah, those guys that do concrete work, they're very expensive.
Yeah, they are. He's curb and gutter though, so I can't. Yeah.
I'll just note that as Ryan mentioned, we've met with Jason and Ryan a couple of different times and kind of mapped out a plan for the various steps in here, this being one of the first public steps. Annexation will come into this further down as we get some more approvals and more work is done on kind of vetting the design on their side of things. And what we were trying to do was make sure that we laid out a plan for them where they could kind of incrementally continue to invest their resources without necessarily getting in a situation where they didn't have all the approvals in place before they annexed in, which obviously once you annex, you can't unannex. So, so that may come later on in the process, but we do have a plan for all of that.
And I appreciate this kind of concept stage before kind of the general implementation. I don't know if that's unique to Ford or not, but I think it's nice to because you don't want to go too far without, you know, some feedback, I guess.
Okay, this is not on for any action, but I want to give Plan Commission members one last shot to express, you know, any feedback on the concept here before moving forward.
I just want to say, as somebody who spent a decade in Boulder, Colorado, this reminds me of a lot of the density and neighborhoods there that were very popular with first-time home buyers and seem to work very well. So I was excited also to see this. I know we're very different cities, but see this this concept here in Fort Atkinson as well.
Great. All right. Any final thoughts or anything to add?
No, I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
And with nothing else, Roz, do you have something to add?
No, I just wanted to say thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 4 on the agenda tonight is adjournment. Would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Move to
moved.
adjourn.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 4:28 p.m. Thank you, everybody.